What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of the Enes Kanter Show podcast on the NBC Sports Boston podcast network. I'm your host, Chris Forsberg, who feels like he's been stuck in quarantine land for decades now. I don't remember what it was like before quarantine. It is getting warmer out. I'm wearing short sleeves. Boston is getting nice. I'm excited. It's been nice to be outside. Joining me from Chicago, Illinois, Enes Kanter.
Yep.
What's going on? How you doing?
I'm good, man. You know, just same routine, same life, same everything same. Nothing changed.
Are you getting ready to relocate potentially?
I am actually. Well, okay. Listen, man. I talked to Coach Brett. We had a conversation with the team, Mike Zarin.
Mm-hmm.
We had I'm trying to think. I talked to Mayor.
Yeah.
I got a conversation with a lot of people, but like, I think already 2 practice facilities open in NBA. So I'm just waiting to hear what is Boston going to do.
Yeah.
So we are going to know either Sunday night or Monday. And as soon as they open up the facility, man, I am coming there like in a heartbeat.
So this is interesting to me. So we're recording this on Friday night, and Massachusetts, the stay-at-home order right now is through May 18th. If that gets lifted, it may potentially allow players like Enes to come back to Boston and start working one-on-one with coaches. And so as we wait for that news of whether the Celtics will open, how comfortable are you, Enes? Like, because we've talked about it, Massachusetts is one of the more, states in the danger zone. Like, are you okay with coming back? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, it's not mandatory. It's optional, obviously.
Right.
But like, I mean, if the season so we don't know if the season gonna start or not, right? If it's going to start, man, you gotta be ready. And I feel like the cleanest and safest place will be the practice facility.
Mm-hmm.
So because I heard that there's gonna be a special guy watching everything, and whatever we do, like the basketballs or the weights that we use or the locker rooms and everything, there's gonna be a special guy cleaning us right after we use it. So like it's gonna be like rotate every 3 players or 4 players. We're gonna work out in the different rims, and then they're gonna go to what's his name, the weight room, and then the new 4 players gonna come. The other 4 players gonna go to training room. So it's gonna be rotated that way. But I think it's gonna be safe, man. I think I am kind of comfortable coming for sure. But besides that, I don't think I'm gonna be leaving my house because Massachusetts is probably in the top 3 the worst state right now in America.
I don't want to make you speak for your teammates, but what is the general sense? Because one of the things that people keep asking me is how okay are players returning to whether it's, do you want to restart the season, restart activities? Do you get the sense that your teammates are either all in, let's go, let's get this thing started, or are there some who are let's make sure this is safe? What's the split in your mind?
I'll say there's probably not just my teammates. I'm probably speaking from the whole league. I mean, there are, of course, all the players want to go out there and start because it's going to affect so much. It's going to affect the money next year. It's going to affect the league. It's going to affect so many other things, free agency, whatever. But at the same time, they want to be safe. They don't want to just go out there and not just put their life on risk, but put their family's life on risk. And so they are just waiting to see what the NBA going to say.
So you were part of the call with Adam Silver last week. Just take me through that from a player's perspective. What was that like, and what was your biggest takeaways coming out of that call?
Right. I mean, we had a conversation probably over an hour. It was NBPA and with NBA, and players was on that call. And I think the biggest thing, obviously, they want to start the season. They do want to start the season if it's all healthy and safety and all safety to go, But it will be, I'm 100% sure, without the fans. So there's not going to be any fans watching the games. And the other thing, I think they are going to make a decision probably in next probably 2 to 4 weeks. The latest I'm thinking June 15th. They're not going to pass that time because obviously they have to make a decision. But even if this season cancels, they are thinking about opening up the facilities. So the open up the facilities don't really associated with the season going to continue or looking optimistic or not optimistic. So they're going to open up the facilities. And the one thing I heard from Adam, they were thinking about moving to another country and play the games there.
So I heard this, Toronto,
I'm
right?
like,
Oh, no.
please not. I'm like, no.
I don't mean to
I'm
make
just
light of it, but you were able to go up to Toronto on Christmas Day, but certainly
I hope it was, yeah.
the idea
I
of
mean, I
2
hope it
months
was,
or whatever it would be, like, how daunting is that?
my God, I don't know how that worked, but like not just in Toronto, man. Like, I'm if they move to any out of state and stay there for like 2 months, that would be very hard for me for sure. But like, and then Adam was saying like, I think it would be too tough to just move to a different country, and so I think they're gonna stay in America. And I heard that there's so many cities are calling NBA and want to host NBA players. But right now, I heard that there possibly is going to be Orlando, but they're still thinking about Vegas. So there's 2 locations. You know what? If you ask me, like the East can go to Orlando, the West can go to Vegas, and we can just see what the finals gonna play. But they were thinking about like that 2 place, and I think like whatever the NBA decides, players has to agree with it too.
Yeah.
So if the NBA says, okay, we are starting the season, if the player says no, we are not starting the season. So whatever NBA decides, players has to agree with it too. So that's why a couple of days ago, the NBPA Players Association texted literally every player and said, if you want to play or not, because I mean, like me, man, I'm a single guy. If something happens to me, it will just affect me. But if something happens to, I don't know, like somebody who have kids, who have wives, who have
Gordon,
like
Gordon
mom
Hayward
and dad.
Gordon Hayward has a pregnant wife. Like I go to assume
Exactly.
yeah, it's just
And
different, right?
very different, man. So I don't know how that's going to work, but I think like if we start the season, if one of the say players just tested positive, they're not going to stop the season. They're just going to, I guess, test the whole team again and see who's positive and not, and they're going to isolate whoever just tested positive. So they're not going to, okay, just cancel or just stop the season again. And I think like he said like every owner, he talked to every owner, 30 teams. Every owner wants to go out there and play and compete.
Wow.
So like from the owner standpoint, yeah, they want to. Their owners wants to play, but because like there's so many questions out there. Like is either going to be playoffs or regular season 2, whatever. But they're still thinking about the regular season games. They're not sure about the regular season games, but the playoffs. It was very interesting. It's going to be 7-game series and 4 rounds. So they're not going to be like. Yeah, that shocked me because like you have like small period of time.
Small window, right?
So I'm like, yeah, that actually shocked me a lot. I mean, the 7-game series and 4 rounds. I'm like, wow, okay, but that's where we are right now. I mean, but like I'm thinking like, how are you going to put the whole league? Say if you played a regular season game, how are you going to put the 450 players in a hotel in a bubble, and just say, okay, you guys are going to stay there for 2 months? How about the workers at the hotel? How about the room service? How about the cleaning guy or girl? How about the workers at the hotel? So like it's going to be very interesting, man. I mean, obviously, I would not want to be in Adam Silver's shoes right now, but it's a very tough decision to make because like every other league is taking an example of the NBA. NBA is like a role model right now, because like NBA was the first major league to just to suspend it itself. So like. Every other league just looking at what NBA is going to do. So like we have to be very careful.
So let me take this 2 different ways. First off, from just even beyond the coronavirus concern, just a ramping back up and then diving into the playoffs. Like regardless of whether you do regular season games or not, are you comfortable with the idea that you guys ramp up for 2, 3, 4 weeks, whatever the case may be, and that you're going to be safe out there? Like, I mean, you're going back at a high level of NBA basketball.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to so many people, like, forget about the regular season games, but like the playoffs are like you lose, you go home. So you have to give everything you have. And like this is not like a regular summer that you just took 2 months away and get back to playing basketball. You have not, some people have not leave their houses. Like regular season, so regular off season, You go outside, you go to the beach, you go walking, you go biking, you go do like activities. So your body is moving. But now it's like your body is not moving that much. So like if the players get back and if they don't give the players have enough time, that I feel like um they are gonna get hurt, big time hurt. I'm not talking about some like big time hurt, and it's gonna affect their career, their money, their everything. So I feel like NBA needs to do a really good job to just giving that training camp period. I don't know how many weeks going to be, but like you cannot just say, okay, we are starting playoffs in 3 weeks, get ready. They cannot do that.
It's fascinating to me because, look, I get it. There's part of it is there's certainly these players that want finality to the season. Like LeBron James is getting older. He wants to be able to go out there and compete for a title. I completely get that. Sure. And then you've got, the salary cap in future seasons. So you want to be able to finish this season so that, players don't lose money. I mean, what's the balance in your mind? Do you, we hear like, okay, NBA paychecks aren't going to show up this week because they've lost a section of the game. As a player, do you sit there and think, man, I got to get my money? Or do you think like, are you able to see the bigger picture about doing this safely?
I mean, like, I cannot just say what I'm thinking. It's like 450 players, because like I might be good, but like, what about rookies? What about players living paycheck to paycheck? They have to take care of themselves, their family, their mom, their dad, their, I don't know, the ones that they care about. So like, I understand what the NBA is thinking, but like, there's so many players out there need that paycheck, Like there's, like some of the players like LeBron, Russ, or like, James Harden, this or whoever, they're fine. If they don't have, if you don't pay them the rest of their life, they're fine. But like, there's so many rookies and players out there. They're living paycheck to paycheck. They need to pay their rent, insurance, this and that, whatever. Help their mom, help their dad, help their family, their own kids, whatever. But like, I don't know, man. I feel like they cannot just look at the top players and say, okay, they're doing good. No, they have to look at the whole map. They have to be able to look at the whole 450 players and say, okay, they're doing good. What about them?
And just like, again, I don't know, we heard that like entire teams were on the same text thread. Like, where do you think your team lies? A lot of younger guys. Do you think the Celtics in general want to get back and play? From your perspective, are you an immediate, yes, I want to play?
I mean, if it's all safe to go, I would say yes, because we are all itching to go out there and dying to go out there and play basketball. And I'm hearing from a lot of I'll say all of my teammates, they just want to go out there and compete. But it is all about how they're going to do it. Because like I said again, man, rookies or me, or a lot of people are single, but like think about Gordon Hayward. His wife is pregnant. He got another 3 daughters, or like think about like Jason Tatum, think about Brad. They all have kids and wives and stuff, just whatever. So like, I feel like they got to do a good job, man, because like it's not going to affect just the players. It's going to affect their family. If one of the players catch something, and if that player gives to the family, and I mean, if something happens to the kid or wife, whatever, I mean, it could hurt a lot.
Yeah. And look, and I'll say even from a media's perspective, I don't know right now whether we would allow to be inside the bubble with you guys. I think there's a chance. And I sit here and say, I got 2 young kids.
Exactly.
I don't know how comfortable I would be entering that situation and for an undetermined amount of time. And, at the balance we're all striking. Like, look, I get it. It's just no one has answers here. And it's all very much your your personal opinion and how you feel. And I don't envy the NBA. As you said, Adam Silver has some seriously tough questions here. And, I get the idea that people want to get back to normalcy. They want sports to be a part of their lives, but it's a very delicate dance. And I look, and I'm hopeful they figure out a way to do this. There's a lot of smart people in the league. I hope they figure out a way to do this and keep you guys safe and get this back to normal.
Exactly, man. I feel the same way, man. But like, also because like sport, we need sport. Like, because like, say you have a very stressful day, right? Where you're like, I don't know, at home, at work, I don't know. When you just come and sit on that couch, have some, I don't know, junk food and watching your favorite team to play, it's like you feel so much better automatically, So we just saw how much we need sport in our life, basketball, football, baseball, anything. So like, if it's safe to go, man, of course, like all the players want to, of course, just go out there and play.
So I think some of like the overseas soccer leagues are coming back. Obviously, it's everyone's at a different time frame in this. Will you watch overseas soccer? Like, are you desperate for sports? Or are you okay? like where do you stand?
There's always like YouTube, or there's always like, I don't know, like there's like that old games that the Celtics showing every day, on the Celtics Twitter account. Or you can just go there and see. What's crazy is like 99% of the time, the performer of the game is Larry Bird again. The next day, performer of the game again, Larry Bird.
I keep waiting for
fun, man.
I need an Enes Kanter Classic game.
I know. Hey, we'll see one day. But like,
no. Let's go there. What is the most? What, like, in your mind? What is, if I said you had to pick one game from your career? Is there one game that flashes to mind that you had like either your best performance? Or
yeah.
What is it?
When I was with the Knicks, we played at Christmas against Philly, and I was playing against Joel, whatever, and then I think I had like 30 and 20. So that was like the highlight of my one of the highlights of my career. It was good. We were rolling with KP, Porzingis. It was a good day.
So are you ready for 30 and 20 if the Celtics and Sixers meet in the first round of the playoffs?
No, I'll be honest with you, not right now. I don't think anybody is ready to get 30 and 20 right now, because like, hey, it's like, I'm glad it's Ramadan. I'm fasting. I did not gain that much weight, but like, if it was not Ramadan, man, I'll be so bad. Like, I already have like man boobs already. Like when I'm run, I can feel they're shaking. But like, hey, it's, just, I guess, you got to do everything to stay safe.
So I do want to ask you about Ramadan, because again, we would normally be in the playoffs here. I think what you mentioned a couple of years ago, you reached out to Hakeem Olajuwon just for advice. So like, what I find fascinating is, so essentially from sun up to sundown is when you cannot have. So it's like, lead me through it.
So it's different in every city. So you have the app, you can just literally look at the app. But so here it's usually around like 3 a.m. to probably around like 8-10 p.m. So it's like almost like 17 hours. But also you don't eat or drink anything, not even water. But by doing that, like, people are asking like, why would you do that? But like, I feel like it's more than just, it's not just about you starving yourself. It is about discipline. It is about understanding. That's the most important thing, because like, we are all blessed. We all have like breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks and everything. But there's so many, I think almost like 700 million people out there are just starving. And it's like, I used to do a lot of charity work when I was able to leave America. I used to go like to Africa a lot and stuff. And I saw like the kids over there, like, can't even forget about the food. Can't even find clean water to drink, And it's like, by doing this, like, you appreciate more, you understand those people, and then you give back to them, So, and then by doing that, you understand those people better, because like, in the end of the night, when you break your fast, right, you're like, wow, I should appreciate this more. You appreciate the food, you appreciate the water, you appreciate everything you have more, and you just automatically just feel blessed.
So I was watching a video, because I think it was when you were in OKC, and you're up at like, again, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., having your first meal, and knowing that, what is a daily routine like for you right now in terms of what you have early in the morning, and then what are you eating at night?
I mean, I feel like this is like the easiest Ramadan I had in my whole life, because like every Ramadan I had, I either have, either games or practices. Especially it's just the Ramadan. So Ramadan comes back 11 days every year, right? So it's like, just because it's in summertime right now, days are way longer. So like, I always like break my fast like around like 8-9, especially like last year when I was playing for Portland. I was like breaking my fast just because it was all the way in the West. I was breaking my fast almost 9 o'clock. We were playing against like Denver Nuggets, and just because of the altitude, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how am I gonna do it. But like the game of basketball is mental over physical. So just because I was fast and I wanted to show the whole world that I can do it, I was just paying attention to little details, and then we won that series.
All right, so when we're recording this, it's 7:22 right now p.m. On Friday night. What's your meal going to be? Like, what I thought was fascinating, I love this. You went to a restaurant with some teammates back then, again when we had normalcy, and your food was coming right as you hit the clock to start eating again. Like, is it hard to resist the urge to just overload and take everything you can get, or like how do you balance?
It's like you got to be careful, man, because just because you don't eat or drink anything all night, all day, right? So like you cannot just drink gallons and gallons of water. You just because like then you have no room for food. So like just drink a little bit of water and just wait a little bit, right? And then you start eating, and then just drink the water with the food. Because like if you just drink the water, man, your whole body is gonna be like, okay, where's the food? But I think around this time you need a lot of electrolyte. So like Gatorade will be like really good, maybe Powerade. So like yeah, that's what I do.
Wow, I am endlessly impressed as someone who I just took a swig of water and now I'm like, oh my God, I feel bad. Like, as we're talking, like,
nah, you're good, man. No, you trust me. Listen, last year, right? I was sitting right next to Damon CJ and all like the other players, right? I'm sitting on the bench and they're just drinking this cold water and Gatorade. I'm like, okay, let me just focus on what coach is saying. So like, I'm used to it, man. Don't worry about it.
Well, that's good. Like I do appreciate the idea of just being sort of locked in and the mental focus. And I remember reading about Hakeem and what he just thought. It brought him to another level of focus in the playoffs, and certainly it worked out for him. So I respect the heck out of that. All right, let's have some fun to close this out. We've been very serious to this point. We're not usually very serious around there. Did you see Jaylen Brown's viral dancing?
Man, I did. Yes, I did. That was wild. I don't remember how many times I watched that, but it was just funny. Because like he's a serious dude. Just by Jaylen Brown, by him just doing dancing like that is just funny, man.
He went from taping an interview with CNN at like 3:00 to being a viral dance superstar in the early evening. So
yep.
I need an Enes Kanter rebuttal. Like I need you doing. I've told you all along. If you want to go to the next level as a social media superstar,
you gotta dance, right? Hey,
yeah.
My body's too stiff for that,
The other thing is. So we've talked a lot about you and your future in professional wrestling, and I can't wait for you to make your WWE debut. But, you did get some people's antennas up this week by admitting that you have sort of an offer. Is there like a firm contract in front of you about like what you're
no, it's not. I know it's not a contract. Obviously, they cannot offer me a contract when I'm having a contract with the Celtics. But like, whenever I actually wrestled in MSG this past summer, I talked to I said hi to Vince McMahon. I actually have a conversation with Triple H. He said, "Keep my number in your phone." I'm like, sure. But the one I'm really talking to a lot is Paul Heyman. Paul, he's been an amazing man. He's a legend. But like he told me like, hey, whenever you're ready, we're here. I'm like, let me just finish my basketball career first. We just gotta slow down a little bit.
I'm fascinated. I can't wait to see you sort of embrace that full time. We've seen Rob Gronkowski. We were joking about it. We needed you versus Gronk in SummerSlam, and now Gronk's going back to football. So you need to like make sure you ride out your full NBA.
I know, man. I know.
Who would? So I think I saw someone ask you this. That who would you pick from the Celtics to be your tag team partner? If you had to like wrestle into the future, like who do you think on the Celtics team would make the best chance to come wrestle?
I think just because of like personality, Taco will be good. Because I think about like 7'5", 3 chokeslam people. You know what I mean? Like 7'5" guy just putting people up and it just chokeslamming him. It will feel like you are. I don't know. It'll be amazing. People will love him so much. But if I had to go against somebody from the Celtics, I probably will go against Tice. Because like me and him always like joke around and like he always like I don't know like hide my stuff and stuff. He always like because he people think he's a very quiet guy, but he's actually he jokes a lot. He's a jokester. But if I had to go,
that video of you sneak attacking Marcus Smart in the locker room.
There you go.
That was the first time I've been like, I miss Celtics basketball like a lot. Like that hit me in the feels.
That's the one dude I would not mess with, Marcus Smart. No, because like that will turn into a UFC because it will be very ugly for me. So I'm like, you know what? I don't want to mess with it.
He reversed that real quick on you. Put the scissor lock.
Quick, right?
I listen. I am hopeful that you're back here in Boston. I hope there is some normalcy.
Yeah, I hope so, man.
You know, I hope it's done safely and all that. And like, I'm very interested to see how the next couple weeks and months play out. Selfishly, I want basketball, but part of me also wants. It's hard for me to go to the grocery store right now, you know, and I want.
No, man, trust me, yeah.
Oh, I want to end on this. So I was talking to someone in the Celtics front office this week, and they were joking. They said, you know, not a lot of you guys are going out, but you know, someone like Taco goes to the grocery store, and how do your taco fall? Like everyone notices. It's not like you can put a mask on and hide.
Exactly.
You know, you're still 7 feet 5 inches, and you're still Taco, and you still want to get a picture with him. How's it been for you? Do people notice you out there in Chicago? Do they?
I mean, whenever I walk, like I'll start like right now, just to take a walk. But like people they do notice me and they want to take a picture. But like they always like, so I stay here. They actually like stay like probably like whatever feet away, and they take a selfie.
Yeah.
It's so awkward, but like they want to do it. I'm like, sure, yeah.
Well, I appreciate that they're still adhering to social distancing.
Exactly.
They're getting their picture. Like I'm sure you know that we were joking about it. Like it's tough for Taco, who just genuinely is a nice human being and wants to interact with fans, but it's like
exactly.
You know, in this era, you just got to kind of keep them at bay. So stay safe out there. We'll see next week. This will be very interesting. I hope we're.
Couple days later, man, we're gonna see if we're gonna, you know, just go at it again or not. So I'm excited to see what they're gonna do.
I hope again, safety first.
Yeah,
if they can make a way to this happen, I am very interested to see how it comes back and if basketball can resume this summer. Until then, Enes just gave you complete insight into how the NBA is operating. I need you to go slam the like, subscribe. Leave a comment, please.
You got nothing to do.
Nothing to do. It's funny. I keep saying this, like, even as a person who listens to a lot of podcasts, I understand it. It's weird times, but we're giving you some insight into how this is all going down. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, listening. Let's hope we see Enes back on a basketball court real soon.
Hope so.
We will be back next week. Thank you again for tuning in to the Enes Kanter Show podcast. We'll catch you next week on the Enes Kanter Show.